Hello again and welcome to week 12 of the small worm bin update. And for those wondering, this is how these bins are stacked. They live outside and they're just stacked one on top of the other. And it was Terry King, I think, who wondered if I used cardboard on top. No, I just use shredded newspaper, and I find it works very well. This would be unbearable in the house, not because of the smells, but because of the fruit flies. Because although it does a very good job, it doesn't do a 100% job of keeping the fruit flies away. So we have the two bins side by side. We have the original worm bin, which is this one, and beside it was the new bin that we started last week. So you can see I've given this bin a bit of a feed, and you can tell a lot about a family by looking at the worm bin. So you already have probably worked out we get through an awful lot of bananas and melons in our house. This bin has become incredibly wet, and it's because most of the feed I've been giving this bin has been melon, banana, apple, all sort of fruits that hold an awful lot of moisture. So what I did that's a bit different, in a few days ago I put an inch to 2 inches, I suppose, of quite dry composted guinea pig, the shavings from the wood shavings from the guinea pig bedding. And what I'm trying to do is I want to draw up the worms from that. It's not vermicompost, it's vermimud really. I want to now draw the worms up through that into the top layer where the fruit is. And I'm probably going to harvest this bin a bit sooner than I thought, just because it's got so wet. You can see there it's mud really. But the worms are working it still. As you can see, they're spread quite well throughout the bin. And they're active and responsive, which is something you always want to look for. So they're reacting quite well to being exposed to light. So yeah, I'm happy with this bin. And we'll have a look at the new home now. So this is the bin we set up last week. There's not a lot of worms working near the surface, and this is to be expected in a new type of bin. The worms will go down and until they've sort of settled and got over the shock of a new, what feels like a very different and new environment to them, they'll tend to stay down and work the bedding at a lower level. But you can see that again they've spread themselves throughout the bin, which is something I always look for. So there isn't one area of the bin that they're avoiding. There isn't any evidence. You can see the sides are very dry with no evidence of castings along the sides, so it doesn't look like any have tried to leave the bin, which is a good sign as well. And you can see that they're active and responsive again to the light. Again, another good sign that they've settled in. Between the two bins I've probably put 1 kilo of fruit scraps in. I don't want to overfeed the bin, because remember, in the original bin now we have less worms and we have a small population of worms in this bin. So one of the big mistakes is to overfeed it. Now I want to just give a quick shout out to Mumbai Balcony Gardener, who has a fantastic channel, and she does some great stuff with her worm bins. And I can already, if she's watching this video, I can hear her tutting at the screen because I'm fiddling around with the bin instead of letting the worms settle, and it's a big no-no. But I just really want to just check that they're okay, because this is the first time I've looked at this bin since we set it up. And they're doing well. So all in all, I'm very happy with both bins the way they are. The mother bin, if we can call it that, I'll probably harvest much sooner than I intended to. I was going to run that, I guessed about 20 weeks or so, and I would actually have to empty the bin, but I think I'm going to do it much sooner than then, just because the bin is so wet. So that's your update. Thanks very much for watching. Please comment, ask any questions down below. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much, and I shall see you on the next video.